What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Josh's Review Corner. On this episode, we're speaking with one of the most pleasant surprises for me in 2026. He arguably dropped for me what I think is the album of the year so far, and he recently just got announced to be on the Holy Smoke Cypher. I'm talking
Crazy.
about Mr. Tonyxtrotter. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. We just found out about Holy Smoke, so I'm still tweaking. I'm kind of still coming off of it, but I'm chilling, Brody. I'm in my pajama pants and my sweatshirt, straight chilling.
Man, fire, fire,
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Well, one of my things that I love to get to know about artists is the backstories, the lore. I'm big on lore.
Facts.
So for Tony Trotter, I feel like I've only seen your music catalog from 2025 onward, but with the way you rap, you sound like you have way more experience at this than just 2 years. So I want you to speak to that a little bit. What was your your history of getting into rap? How did that happen? I want to know everything about it.
Yeah. So when I first started rapping, I was really bad at it. And I'm not saying like even relative to where I am now. I'm saying like relative to other people when they start. Like I was really bad, like really bad. But I just I don't know. Came up on hip hop at an early age. My uncle Jeremy bought me a KJ52 CD, and that was kind of like my introduction. And then playing NBA Street Volume 2, I heard Pete Rock and CL Smooth, They Reminisce Over You, and it was a rap, but then, I started writing when I was like 13 or 14. And I was doing like releases on SoundCloud, and people started knowing me a little bit in my high school just because I rapped, not because I was good, but because I rapped. And yeah, I don't know, I always kept writing, even if I wasn't releasing, I was always writing and always kind of working the craft. And, the journey that was pre-saved. And, once I got saved, some things had to happen before I took a step out in faith, and we can get into that a little bit more if you want to. But yeah, man, I've been writing for. I'm 26 now, almost 27. We're going on like 13 years. So yeah, man.
Wow. So you did talk about this pre-saved and then saved era of Tony. Speak to that a little bit. I do want to hear that story.
Yeah, so I got saved when I was 20. It was like fall of 2019, and I was 20 years old. So all of high school, I rapped, and after high school, I was in a couple little groups. We did a couple like little small like house show type of things, and we maybe had a little bit of buzz sometimes, but it was all secular. I was rapping about drugs and killing people or whatever it was, wanting to kill myself, whatever it was. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when I got saved, it wasn't really a question for me whether I should keep anything up or delete it, because I had built a little bit of a following. But I was like, man, no shot. Like, I can't keep this stuff up. I can't lead people to hell. You feel what I'm saying? So I deleted everything that I had off of everything. Nothing could be found anymore, pretty much. And then I didn't make music for a really long time. I was newly saved, learning how to walk. It was like learning how to ride a bike again. I was trying to, just learn how to write again, learn how to rap again. And then I spent years just kind of staying down. I'd still write without the intent of recording or releasing, just writing, and then I lost my dad in March of 2024. And it hit me really hard, but God really drew near to me in that time. And after a few months of that, like, when the dust had settled a little bit, like God had kind of kindly rebuked me, like, man, I gave you a gift, and I want you to use it. And if you don't use it, you're being disobedient. He reminded me of the parable of the talents. I was like, all right, so I recorded my first single that I put out in September 2024, which was called Later. Rapzilla Freshman Look, early 2025, after the album that I put out February 2025, and now we're here. So yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like rappers have a turning point, or there becomes a moment in time where they go from not being able to rap good to being able to rap good. Was there
Yeah.
a turning point for you, or was it a gradual incline to that point?
I mean, I think over the last 6 years, there's been a gradual, like, I've continued to get better, But as far as when I first initially started being decent, it was like it was a flip because it was a kind of a tumultuous time in my life where like I had a group that I was rapping with and they were my friends and we just had a falling out that was bad and we kind of had beef. So I was like, man, I got to be the dopest ever. I got to be, if I'm on my own, I got to be the dopest. So I started really working on rhyme schemes and things like that and flow. And then I found another group that I was rocking with this other dude. His name is Limon, Jose Limon. And he's like the dopest underground MC I've ever heard. And he's one of my friends. And I was like, this dude nobody knows can rap like this and he raps like this, so that means that if nobody knows me I can rap pretty dope too. So he really pushed me and it was kind of like at that point like I really started getting a lot better.
Man, and your sound is heavy into the boom bap. It's heavy into the 90s style of hip hop. Was it always 90s style hip hop, always boom bap, or were you doing even trap stuff back in that time?
Nah, I never did trap. I mean, I've had a couple, like I have a feature I did not too long ago on a trap record for a friend, but um, yeah, that's never been my sound. I've always been on the boom bap stuff. I was a little bit more lo-fi esque early on, but it was always still boom bap. It was all still always still raps. Um, Sometimes the braggadocio bars, punchlines. That's what I'm passionate about. So that's what I do.
Yeah, and you mentioned KJ52, Pete Rock, CL Smooth as some of the influences. Were there other influences, or who were some of your favorite rappers growing up?
Yeah, bro. Uh, so Eminem, obviously, every white kid is gonna say Eminem, but it's facts for me. I know all of his songs pre like 2018. He's a big one. Mac Miller, a huge one. Kendrick Lamar, like Good Kid, Mad City, is like one of the albums that really made me want to rap. I listened to a lot of Illmatic by Nas. That's a big one. Big L was one of my favorites. Big Pun as far as rhyme schemes and delivery. Jay Z as far as the braggadocious. Like even if I'm not saying the hardest line ever, I'm just coming through with like a swaggy cadence. Uh, Kanye, I loved. There's so many, man, too many to count. Blue in Exile has one of my favorite albums ever. Blues the rapper, but Below the Heavens is goated. I've listened to it so many times. Yeah, I could go on, bro.
Man, I'm so happy you said Blue in Exile. Did you like that Miles project as well?
The Summersville?
No, no, it's a project that dropped in like 19. It was called Miles. It was all jazz rap.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. I have not even heard of it. I'm not tapped in like that. I listen to like New Gervais and pop and YouTube videos about people murdering other people. So
Oh my God. No, that's
yeah,
fine. That's fine.
we keeping it real in the review corner, bro.
Yes, sir. No, man, I like it. I like it. But no, dude, Blue and Exile, and you mentioned Mac Miller as well. And when I listen to some of these tracks on The Art of Getting Up, especially some of the
Bless.
tracks where you're getting more melodic, I swear it's like I hear that influence. Was that some of the influence, like some of those like watching movies with the sounds off type of influence?
Yeah, for sure. What's funny is that album is actually the one that I've probably listened to from him the least.
Oh,
Um,
really?
Yeah, but I definitely would credit him as a large inspiration of mine for sure, especially like with Quest, the last song, like it's very much in that vein, and Faces is probably my most listened to Mac Miller project of all of them, and I definitely credit that, like I would definitely give credit to Mac for my um feeling like it's okay to go outside of certain parameters and just push myself to make a good song that maybe other people don't expect. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're absolutely right though, for sure.
The other thing that interests me out just outside the rap stuff is you're wearing this San Francisco Giants hat. I swear on every single album cover, every single
Absolutely.
video. What's the
That,
connection to the San Francisco Giants in the Bay?
so I'm from the Bay. So I was born in Missouri, but my mom's from California, my dad's from Indiana, is where he was born. And growing up, we moved around a lot. But when I was in second or third grade, we moved to California, and we were there for a long time. Left for like a year, and then we went back to California until I moved back to Missouri when I was 20. So all my most formative years were in the Bay Area. I love the Bay. I love California. I'm diehard Giants fan, Warriors, all that stuff. The Giants are my guys, even though they suck so bad. I'm I can never, they're my guys. So that's what that's about.
Now, what year did you get into being a Giants fan? Was it pre the odd year or what is it called, the even year Giants, where they like win a World Series every like other
Yeah.
year or so?
Yeah, it was 2009 actually. It was June 10th, 2009. We went to a baseball game for my grandpa's birthday. And I walked into the stadium. I saw it. I saw the field. I was an instant fan. I learned the game from that point on. I could have told you every team starting lineup, top to bottom, when I was like 12. So, yeah, it was right before. So I was really lucky, getting to watch those years.
Heck yeah. Who was your favorite player around that era? Because I'm a huge baseball fan myself.
Tim Lincecum and Brandon Crawford.
Bro, Brandon Crawford, the journey, that dude has been there for like, he was there for 15 years, I swear.
A long time. I was Tim Lincecum one time for Halloween. Well,
You
actually,
grow out the hair?
I had a wig. My hair's blonde and it won't go that long. It'll just get like a bowl on my head. So I wish that'd be awesome, but no, I'm not cool like that.
So I imagine you had that copy. I forget what the game was, but it was him with on the cover. Was it 2K?
It
It was like
was
MLB 2K or something.
it was 2K9. I had it. That was my first baseball game.
Really. And it's crazy because you also like, dude, you're really dang good at video games. I saw you post this one post about like placing at a Tekken tournament, like in the top five. And Tekken's
Yeah,
not an easy game to learn. So I
no.
want to talk to you about that a little bit. What's your connection with gaming and just like games in general?
I just like the games, man. I have a good time. I like to, that's a way I decompress. And I love fighting games because there's so much, they teach you a lot, and there's so many like real life applicable skills that make you better at them, like actually practicing something, getting the muscle memory down, using like your knowledge to form a game plan and things like that, and to win. And it's very like knowledge, and like, I make you think I'm going to do this, and because I'm making you think I'm going to do this, you're going to respond this way. So I punish you for that. Like, it's super brainy, and I love that about it.
Mm.
So,
And you also play some chess. We gotta help on that one time for the one time.
yeah, yeah, I'm not as good as you. I'm not chess champion over here, but I
No,
enjoy
stop.
I enjoy the occasional chess match. It is a good time.
Heck yeah. And I feel like that translates so well over to your raps, like the ball knowledge. Like you have such a deep ball knowledge of just a wide array of topics. A lot of people don't really have that nowadays.
Yeah, it's because uh every month I have a new interest, and whenever I have a new interest, it's all that I think about. So like my wife always makes fun of me because it's always something new, and I gotta go spend money on it. It's fishing, and then it's hunting, and then it's aviation on YouTube for a little bit, and then it was golf for a little bit, and then it's, you know, yeah, that's just how it is.
Are you one of those types of people where you're like, I want to get really good at something, and then you get good at that something, and you're like, okay, I'm good. I can move on now.
I want to get like above average, and then I'm done. Like, and not even because I want to be done. Like at first, like I want to be the freaking goat, But then I get to like above average, and I'm like, all right, next thing. So I'm like pretty decent at a lot of things, but I don't feel like exceptional at like anything. So
What was the thing that you invested the most time in that was like that?
raps, and
Raps?
I just, but like raps is different because raps was never just like, I don't know, like it was never just like a thing, like a phase. You know what I mean? Like I had a lot of phases growing up, baseball, hockey for a little bit, but like rap's just stuck, and that's why I'm the best at that out of everything else. So
Mm.
probably that.
I know you already, just to pivot back here or get back here a little bit, reel it back in. Going back to the journey into Christian hip hop from secular rap. I mean, you talk about what the timeline looks like, but getting into the space, I feel like is so different than even just starting to do Christian rap because it comes with like
For
connections and
sure,
everything.
for
So I
sure.
want you to speak on that. Like, how do you get into the space? Who's the first person that you get connected with in this space?
If y'all are not tapped in with Bars and Beats Entertainment, Mr. Antonio, this kid is a legend. I think he's 19. He was probably 17 when I first tapped in with him, just because like I knew I could rap. I wasn't like fake arrogant or humble about it. I was just like, hey man, I DM'd him and I'm like, because I saw him with some commentary on some things and I could see he was relatively tapped in, you know. So I was like, hey man, I have this record coming out. I'd like to send it to you early. Let me know what you think. And from there, it's been history. Like, that's the homie. He's put me on in some ways. You know, he apparently submitted my name to Rapzilla to make me a freshman, and then that happened. He convinced me to submit my thing to Mike Kell to get Holy Smoke. I'm on Holy Smoke. Like, that was the first connection that I made, and from really from Antonio, bro. Everything has branched out. Like, that's the homie. I owe Antonio a lot.
Man, shout out Antonio. Shout out DJ Quarters.
Shout out DJ Cortez, straight up. Couldn't do it without him. That's what I said.
Man.
That's why I
And
said it.
you also are connected to some other people that I think are so dope in the space. You're connected to Cortona. You're connected to Young Drew. How do you make the connection with those guys?
I'm gonna keep it a beam. Like, Crotona, like, really dope. Like, he kind of just made the connection with me because I guess I had this video, rap video I posted on my TikTok, and I guess just through TikTok's godlike algorithm, C4 Crotona saw it and he commented. He was like, rap. And I'm like, I already know who this dude is. And you know, so I followed on IG. He followed me back, and you know, over time we just kind of started chopping it up a little bit more and more. And we become pretty cool recently. He's helped me with like my camera and all that stuff. Drew, you know, we became friends because we were both freshmen, and he didn't really know who I was, and I didn't really know who he was. And then we heard each other rap, and we are like, all right. So now we're super cool. That's probably like one of my closest friends in the space for sure. Yeah, man, it's just been, I think, like God ordained friendships and community for sure.
And is Drew the first artist you get connected with? Like, I know Antonio is like really the first big media person who you get introduced into the space with. But who's that first rapper that really like he puts you on, or he's riding for you?
Um, I have a friend named Danny Johnson. He goes by Danny J on Spotify. He's been pretty supportive of me from the jump since before I started dropping because he's in Kansas City as well, where I'm at. But as far as like first one to be a little bit bigger and have their own like a little bit bigger following and kind of ride for me, you know, and put me on, definitely Drew for sure.
Man, heck yeah! Shout out to Drew, man,
Shout out Drew,
legend.
that's the homie.
Were you connected to any of those other guys on that freshman year?
Uh, Christian Scarborough, I was a little bit tapped in because he was kind of going viral on TikTok, so I was tapped in with him a little bit. And then shortly after the freshman list, Drew made a group chat with like a bunch of homies. So it was like me, Drew, Gavin the Hot Rod, Pierre, Yaki the Kid, um, who I can't even remember. It Ego. Um, I'm drawing blanks because it's been a minute since I've been in there, but yeah, it was just like all of a sudden we had all these killers in there. We're sending records in there back and forth, and it was like Gavin sending demos. I'm like, bro, this is freaking crazy. Now I'm sending records, and yeah, it was sick. Drew
That's
Drew is
fire.
Drew is fantastic at not only making connections himself, but like putting other people together. Drew is like a connector, bro. He's got a gift for that for sure.
Wow. And you know, you also had another project that dropped this year with Chump Change. It has Drew on it. It's Drew, you, and then there's this other guy, JJL, and he's got a connection to the art of getting up because he did the engineering work for the project.
Yep.
How did you get tapped in with JJL?
So you're and my mutual friend Yoshi Yahoo, otherwise known as, I think his real name is like Josiah Cabrera, something like that,
Yes, sir.
previously known as Saya. Uh, I had an engineer previously who was my friend, and we were really, really good friends, but we just like some business side of things weren't working out so great. So I asked um, Yoshi, and I was like, hey man, like your mix sounds freaking insane. Like who's your engineer? And he's like, at JJL underscore music, tap in with him, let him know I sent you. I was like, all right. So I tapped in with him, and JJL genuinely has been a godsend for me. Like, he's a little bit like, we do business, so like I pay him to do what he does, but he's cheaper than I paid before. The quality's outstanding, and he's quick, man. Communicates great, takes notes great, and takes care of it right away. Like, the art of getting up doesn't happen the way that it happens without JJL for real.
And I even want to talk just about that chump change project. How does the idea of that come together? Is that because you, Drew, and JJL just had a bunch of records and you're like, we're going to put this together and make an EP? Or is it like you're intentionally setting out to make that?
Nope. So we did Rent Due because Drew didn't know who JJL was yet, and I was like, "Hey, this JJL guy is pretty dope. He's my new engineer, yada yada." And we end up getting in a group chat, and um, I was deer hunting when this happened actually, and uh, freaking JJL sends a beat in the group chat, and Drew gets a verse back on it in like an hour and a half, and then he's like, "Tony, record your verse tonight," and I'm like, "I'm in a tree stand right now. Like I can't write or record a verse. Like you got to chill." And he's like, "Go home," and I'm like, "I can't." So when I got home, I did the verse, and that was our song "Rent Due." And Rent Due did pretty well. It landed some playlists and got some streams, and people were showing love, and they were like, me, Drew, and JJL were just like, "Yo, should we just do like an EP?" So like literally we put the EP together in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. We honestly kind of just played it by ear and put it together real quick and had fun with it and tried to do different things on each record. And I mean, it's a great short and sweet little EP. We enjoyed it.
I do want to ask you, what is your personal favorite record from that project? Is it Frozone? Is it Rent Due? Which one is it?
Honestly, so I love Frozone. The funny thing about Frozone, my verse on Frozone, I originally wrote that verse as an introductory track to the art of getting up. That had like 8 more bars to it. And I want to talk about that verse for just a second, if that's okay,
Yes,
because
please do.
nobody has caught this yet or talked to me about this, but the entire verse for Frozone is a Daredevil from Marvel Comics scheme. So, like, if you listen, so Daredevil's dad is called, he goes by Battling Jack as a boxer. And I'm saying, seen alcoholics battling Jack. They seen the game I'm in. If I don't, something, something, I'll go blind. Like Matt Murdock, Daredevil's blind. He talks about I talk about Bullseye, the Daredevil villain. Like, there's a ton of Daredevil schemes in there. But anyways,
Wow.
I love Frozone for the raps, but honestly, I think the best song on there is probably IDK, which is the one joint that I don't rap on. And that hook is a little different for me, but I think it's a great record, and the verses are fantastic. So
Heck yeah, fire. And what's your favorite? I know this is kind of like tough. It's like picking your favorite kid almost in a lot of respects. But like, what's been your favorite track now that you've been sitting with this Art of Getting Up project for a while? Is it the intro, man? Because the intro is I think that's the best intro of the year. But I'm gonna let you speak for it. What's your favorite track on that joint?
yeah, I'm gonna keep it a bean. It's probably the intro, bro. It's exactly what I wanted to do with the project. It's everything that I wanted to do with rap since I started. I've wanted to be able to do something like that for so long, write beats like that, and just kind of like deliver stuff like that with punches and things like that. So I think that's just a great record, not only to introduce the album, but to introduce me as an artist. Like, I love that record. There's a lot of records on there I love. I love Already Getting Up too with JJL, which almost didn't happen. But yeah, the intro is just, I love it. It's money.
Yeah, the writing is impeccable. I'm actually curious about your writing style a little bit because everybody has their different process.
Hmm.
Are you just like going along with it, and when you're writing, you're like, I'm gonna purposely double into a double or something, or like, is it that methodical, or is it kind of just like, I have this topic beforehand, or how do you go about your writing process?
I never have a topic beforehand, not even one time. Unless somebody hits me with a feature and they're saying, I want you to write about this, then I will do that, but never in my own stuff. I kind of just, I'll hear a beat and I'll get inspired, and the first thing I have is the flow. So I'll kind of just start freestyling gibberish without even saying anything. And then I hear like what sounds would fit dope in a rhyme scheme with this beat. So it may be like at or o or own or whatever just sounding word I think would sound cool. And then as I'm writing, I always am like just fitting rhymes and rhymes and rhymes. Like I'm trying to fit a lot of rhymes in there, be cohesive, and then coming up with punches. I'll be honest, I don't really know how it happens. I think of a word that rhymes with it, and I'm like, how could I flip this and make this something kind of nasty? And sometimes it happens, and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of just try to scheme really well, flow really well, and come up with punches when I can.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give you big props on that. Your schemes are insane. I feel like that's the one thing that is so underrated about the writing. It's like people could say the flow, but I feel like your schemes set up your flows so well on the project.
I appreciate that. Yeah, schemes is definitely. I feel like to the ear, like nothing sounds better than like a super insane, like intricate rhyme schemes. I always appreciate great rhyme schemes, so I shoot for that.
Were there any inspirations behind rhyme schemes, like whether it be secular or anything, or like who would that be?
Yeah, Eminem, early Eminem was freaking ridiculous with rhyme schemes. Big Pun, stupid, like so ridiculous with rhyme schemes. I'm trying to think. I don't want to like give fake credit, just trying to sound cool because I listen to XYZ rapper. Uh, I don't know, man. Just like great schemers. I'm a big like battle rap fan. That's one thing about me. And in battle rap, a lot of the guys that I love like just scheme like crazy, and it's just like so many intricate little multi syllables and yeah, I love it, bro.
With your love for battle rap, is that why you tapped on Zebulon to come onto that one record?
uh, actually, Drew tapped in with Zebulon. We'll come back to Drew. Zebulon was starting to pop on TikTok a little bit, so Drew tapped in with him, and he's like, "Yo, blah 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 blah," and he joins our group chat with all the other homies. And I sent two records in there. Zebulon, it was "We Got Each Other" and "What Now," and Zebulon did a verse for both, but I didn't like "We Got Each Other." I kind of always wanted a single, but I had a couple of features that almost happened with it that would have changed my mind. But I left Zebulon off of it because I wanted him to be on What Now, and he just, I mean, he murdered it. So that's what happened there. But yeah, he a rapper's rapper. He's stupid nice.
Super fire. That little flow he hits at the end towards the end of his verse is so smooth, man.
We've been up, up, down. We something the
Cheat
cheat
code to
code to
greatness.
greatness.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so fire.
Heck yeah. And that's the writing aspect of things and that's the feature aspect of things. But the production is so killer on this project. How did you go about selecting your production for this? Did you tap in? I know you mentioned in private just that you had a host of producers you worked with, but how did you even go about finding those guys?
So I had a couple of records produced from guys back home in the Bay Area. So SideQuest Freestyle is produced by a guy named SideQuest. And he
Fire.
is, yeah, he's been showing love for a minute. He's friends with some of my old homies, the second group of dudes I rap with. And we just been tapped in. We send each other burger music all the time. He's super good, dude. I heard that beat on his project, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna rap on this if that's okay." He's like, "Yeah, go for it." So that's how that happened. Rest was produced by a guy, or not Rest. I'm sorry. We Got Each Other was produced by a guy named LXS out of Stockton. He's a rapper too, stupid dope. Secular rapper. He's very nice, like super nice with it. And then a lot of it is just kind of like finding things on, YouTube, curating things from YouTube, buying the leases and tapping in and showing love and whatever. The intro was originally going to be just the first beat, and then when I finished writing it, I clicked on the same guy's second beat, and I was like, man, this is crazy. This would go crazy together. And then I was literally going to record it, and I was purchasing the beats, and then I saw he had a buy two get one deal, so I was like, let me see if there's a third one that I just like, you know what I mean? And I could throw on the tail end. And the first one I clicked on was that third beat. So I was like, all right. So I wrote my verse in like 15 minutes and recorded it. But yeah, a lot of it's like just stuff I found.
Heck yeah. And um this is such a cool this to me is also one of the coolest things about your project is that it's not just like the bars, it's not just the production, it's not just the writing, but it's also how personal the music gets. Like Rest to me is like one of those tracks that when I listened to it, instantly became one of my favorites from the project. You talk about your family in this project a decent amount as well. I know you're a married man, and so I just want you to speak to that. How has family influenced you, and how has it built you up?
Yeah. Family is weird for me because I'll be honest, like I love my family, but it's never been like one of my super strong core values as far as like if you're family at all, it's family over everything, and I'll murk you over my cousin's grandma. Like I've never been that person. But like my mom it has been the most ridiculously supportive person in my entire existence. Um, I'm sure she cried tonight finding out I was going to be on Smoke, and she was texting me all kinds of stuff about God leading me and all this stuff. My little sister, I love her. And if we're not talking blood, I mean my wife. That's my wife. We're best friends. But yeah, I mean, family's important to me, but I really, 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 really just value human connection and people that are really down. That's why on the Already Getting Up, I'm saying, I kicked it by my lonely. I thought I only needed Tony, but God showed me that rising up really does involve the homies. Like I thought I could do it alone, but like I need the homies. Like, and you need the homies, and they need the homies. Like, so then the homies, like I have family and I have chosen family, and I have some family that I don't choose very much. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I got an uncle and aunt that are fantastic. Some cousins I live around that are fantastic. A lot of just I have some great family for sure, but it's all yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned how you went back to the Bay Area and then now you're kind of residing in like Kansas City type area out in
Yeah.
the Midwest.
hmm
How has that experience been in the Midwest?
Yeah, I love Casey, honestly. So I grew up in the Midwest, so I was relatively familiar with it. I hadn't been in it since I was probably 7 or 8, but honestly, it definitely is home. It's more slowed down here. Things are a little bit more chill, cheaper, so I can afford to live on my own. You know what I'm saying? Met my wife out here, so yeah, I mean it's good. I still ride or die for my Giants and Warriors, but I'll uh I'll root for the Chiefs for sure. That's a good
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Is the
So
barbecue worth the hype?
I'm gonna keep it a beam with
Oh,
you. I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. It's not, but honestly, the best barbecue isn't at the restaurants. It's from the people. Like at the cookouts, like there's a dude at my church that goes crazy. Like that's the real Kansas City barbecue that people talk about. Because I've been to the restaurants, I've been to the Q39 and Jack Stacks. I'm like, I've never like pooped my pants about any of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it tastes like food. I don't know, but like the people are where it's at.
heck yeah. Heck yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah. And you mentioned your church community there a little bit. What do they think about your rapping? Are they just like going up to you like, bro, you just dropped the album of the year? Or do they even know about it like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty tapped in with them. I served in the youth group for a little while, did a little bit of preaching here and there. I play the drums at least once a month. My uncle and aunt are the worship leaders, so we play music together and things like that. My pastor is a pretty young guy, pretty goofy, and jokes about being hip a lot, but is very, very supportive. Listens to all my records and absolutely. I do have people come up and they're like, "Yo, this was crazy. Like this was amazing." Blah 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 blah. Very supportive. So that's really cool to be in a community that supports that because that's not how it is for everybody. So
Yeah. And dude, it's just been a crazy year for you. You're having a great one. And there's a lot more greatness to come for the rest of the year.
yeah,
And I
we'll
know
see what
that you had
happens.
mentioned, I think you had said that you're going to be doing collab work basically the rest of the year. What's that looking like for the rest of the year?
So features are always open. I'm always open for that. Let's rap if you want to rap. Me and Yaki the Kid are doing a collab project. I don't know when that's coming out, but it is so crazy so far. We have a couple records. Uh, I did a verse yesterday for him, and honestly, my favorite song that I've ever been on or a part of, including my own records, like my favorite song is one that's going to be on this project. So, and Yaki is so special, bro. Like his flow and his cadence and his delivery and his voice, like he's so special. And even beyond that, like he's a fantastic guy. Like he's not every artist in this space is genuine or Christ-like, but Yaki is that 110%. So that's one of the collab projects that I'm talking about and working on. And I mean, I guess we haven't announced nothing or really talked about it much, but me and Q Flow are going to be doing one at the end of the year.
Fire.
So yeah, Q Flow, my cousin. So we gonna get after it with some raps, man.
How'd you get introduced to Q Flow?
How did I get introduced to Q Flow? I honestly don't remember. I think I had been showing some love or something, and I had just dropped my single Days of Old that was almost on the album, and he just tapped in with it and really liked it, and he started like posting it on his story, and he was telling people, he's like, "Hey yo, when Tony Trotter blows up, don't say I didn't tell y'all." So I was like, "Hey man, I appreciate that," and he was like just on sway, so I'm like, "Yo, I gotta chill," and we become pretty good friends. That's the homie.
Heck yeah, brother. Well, we know where to find you. It's on the DSPs. The art of getting up. Please go
Yep,
stream it. Please go buy it. You're actually selling physicals for it. Such an underrated way to support the artist. Just
yeah,
buying the physical, buying the music. So
yep.
please go buy that. Also, if you're gonna be at Holy Smoke, show this man a ton of love because I'm telling you, he's finna go crazy on that cipher.
Yeah, we gonna try. I'm gonna try not to throw up, but I'm excited, man.
Yeah, heck yeah. And before we even close out here, is there anything that you want to leave with the audience, leave with the listener?
You can't stay up without the homies, so stop leaving the homies out. Stop being weird. Get up with the
Mm,
homies. Bring the homies with you. If somebody's fake, that's okay. You don't have to keep them with you, but your homies are your homies and should stay your homies. Facts.
mm, fire. Well, hey, this has been a conversation corner with Tony Trotter. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.